it, everyone. Obviously, you can see no Brevin. He had a bit of a family emergency, but Casual Bias and myself, Burns, we're ready to entertain. We're both wearing black because we're mourning the disappointment of our team in the Champions Cup. But nevertheless, Casual, how's it?
It could have been better, Brett. It's one of those scenarios where it's like I have to choose with the predictions. Got a clean sweep except for one, and it's your team that made that you can't get the clean sweep. And I would gladly have every prediction wrong, but get that one victory with the Stormers.
Yeah.
So it was a tough pill to swallow yesterday because obviously there's a lot of caveats behind it, and we'll get into it. But I'm not going to take anything away from La Rochelle. Like they won the game fair and square. But overall, I thought this was a great weekend of rugby. Every single game was thoroughly enjoyable almost to watch. It didn't feel like a URC game where it's like you've got free time and you can watch, but you're like, this is boring or whatever. Like when there was free time and you can watch some rugby, you put it on the TV and watch this. This was absolutely beautiful.
True. But before we go further, I just want to show everyone behind me. I've got this shelf that I want to do memorabilia and stuff so our podcast doesn't look this boring. So if you got something cool, send it our way. And please like and subscribe to our channel. We are growing at a rapid pace and we highly appreciate all of you. Doesn't cost you anything, just makes us go happy. Okay, so let's start with the first game of the weekend. We actually watched this Friday night with Harlequins and the Glasgow Warriors. I predicted the Warriors to win. Everybody else predicted Harlequins to win, and I was wrong. What do you think of that game?
We spoke about this potentially being a ball fest or one of the most exciting games. I went with one of the most exciting games, and that is what it was. I wouldn't say necessarily the best game of rugby. A lot of errors in it, but my, absolutely an enjoyable game. Like you think Glasgow's out of it. They start well and then concede the tries against Harlequins. They blow them out of the water. And then all of a sudden, Glasgow scored 2 tries at the end. Literally came down to the final whistle where a cross kick either makes your dream or breaks your dream for Glasgow. And unfortunately, the bounce didn't go their way, but an instant classic once again. Absolutely brilliant game. We predicted a high-scoring game as well. Nearly 52 points in it, high-scoring, beautiful.
Yeah, I was quite upset with this game because I felt that Glasgow was the more well-rounded side. They did all the basics so well. They just like 1 or 2 laps in concentration and they would concede. So for me, they were the better side. But Harlequins just showed that they had more the willingness to win the game. So yeah, like you said, they thoroughly deserved it. But yeah,
it felt like Harlequins had more individual magic, if I could say it like that.
Yeah.
Where Glasgow had a more team performance, I thought Marcus Smith was unbelievable. I think he got 2 try assists and a try. I think Andre Estrazen, as always, put up his hand with a brilliant performance. So it was a lot more individual-like from Harlequins' perspective, but overall, just a thorough. It was the best way you can ask for this weekend to kick off in terms of rugby. A great game to start the weekend.
I am a bit upset with Andre Estrazen because he's supposed to be knocking on the door as the Springbok inside centre. On attack, he was brilliant. He played well when it was necessary, but missed tackles. Oh my goodness! Probably I counted. On the group I posted, that was Andre Estrazen's 3rd missed tackle, and it was 4 minutes into the game or something. Yeah, but nevertheless, well done, Marcus Smith. He did well. Moving on to the only hope we have left as Saffers, the Bulls versus the Lyon. We all obviously expected this to happen, but the Bulls absolutely obliterating Lyon.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, I'm not trying to banter the people, but we saw in the comment sections, they said writing off Lyon is going to be the downfall of the Bulls, and we shouldn't be so quick to write off Lyon. I'm never writing them on again. That was
Yes.
horrific. They got absolutely blown out of the water. They are lucky to have 19 points because that try that they scored at the end of the first half should never be a try. I don't know what is his name again. I forgot the ref's name. I think he's the best ref in the world, but that is a horrible decision. Took the tap in front of the 5 meter. Yeah, it was on the ref's mark, but you can't mark it in front of the 5 meters. The water guy was still on the field. There was an injured player down. The Bulls were like kind of in a huddle. So how can you take a quick tap after a water break? That was absolutely ridiculous. So they can be lucky they got 19 points, but what a performance by the Bulls. I mean, the big names really stepped up to play. Ambrose Papier once again. Insane game from him. I thought Kurtley Arendse. Wow. Guy doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then also, like we spoke in one of our previous episodes about a team that we would create from players that play in South Africa, and I mentioned Ulrich Lowe, and he hasn't necessarily always stepped up to the plate, but if you want to base him on one performance of what he can do, that was what he did on Saturday. It was an immense performance from Ulrich Lowe.
Agreed. And I just want to address something regarding the Bulls game. Most social media, like rugby platforms, posted the empty crowd and said South Africa really doesn't care about the Champions Cup. And that's where I just want to correct everyone. Yes, they do, firstly. But when a game is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Pretoria, just getting outside of summer, nobody wants to sit in 33-degree temperatures watching a game that they know their team is going to win, because Lyon is not competition for them. And the score clearly reflects that. So I think when a bigger team comes and a later fixture comes, then you'll see bigger crowds at Loftus. But since a child, I've known that whenever there's an afternoon game, people don't want to go to Pretoria. It's too bloody hot. So just people need to relax.
And something that not a lot of people know is you see it a lot in the Lions game, right? Where the crowd sits on one side of the stand, and that is the stand where the camera is also shooting, because I think that stand is in the shade, right? Because if you look at after the game, then obviously our fans are allowed to go on the field. That field was nearly packed. The field was packed with people. So immediately you know, okay, there's a lot more people at the game than you expected. Like on TV, it looked like there was about 6 guys in the crowd. Meanwhile, the other stand was full because it didn't sound like the game is dead on its feet with the atmosphere. Like it still felt like there was a bit of atmosphere. And of course, Loftus is massive. So you can pack thousands of people on one side of the stand. You can literally fill a whole Premiership stadium on one stand from in our stadiums. So that is just something I needed to clarify, that not a lot of people know outside South Africa.
Yes, I think there was this final stat was 17,500 or something like that. That's how many people were at the game. So that's still a lot of people, but the stadium is big, and yes, it does look empty, but people just need to focus on their own problems, because
Brett, that's more than some stadiums take in for instance, the Prem, or even in the URC. Like if you look at the Welsh stadiums and stuff, you would think South Africa, the Stormers had a lot of fans then. We had only 8,000 more. It looked like we had a full-fledged stadium full of people, but that's just because the people don't want to sit in the sun because of 33 degrees. So we just had to clarify that one.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough about that game. Bulls, please do it. Take it home for us. But moving on to the next one. This game actually annoyed the crap out of me, because one week Exeter doesn't even look like they know how to play rugby, and then the very next week they play against Bath and they go and bloody win and make me look like a fool because of my prediction. So I think I'm giving up on predictions from now, and I'll just start sweet talking shit teams, because Exeter pulled a rabbit out the hat with that 21-15 win over Bath.
Yeah, it was a comeback victory as well. And I don't want to hear any excuses from any Bath fans that it's because Finn Russell got injured, because we'll get there in a second. If you want to say that you only lost the game because one player got injured, have a look at the next game that we're about to talk about. But obviously Exeter, I backed them because they've been looking good throughout the tournament. They dropped off a bit in the Prem, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, I agree. They looked horrible in that game against Sale, but I just thought about like what they could do. Obviously, they played at home as well against Bath. I think the injury really helped them nullify the attack of Bath because they didn't look too threatening. But yeah, overall, I didn't really watch the game because it was the same time as our team playing. So just like kind of switched around throughout the channels. But geez, that Webosa is one insane player for Exeter. Like he's gonna have a bunch of caps for England. Like truly, that guy is a general.
Okay, well, I just like you said, you watched at the same time as when our team. So for those that still don't know, both Casual Bias and myself are Stormers fans. I unfortunately missed both games because while the Stormers were playing and while Exeter was playing, I was also playing. So I missed the entire game. I recorded it and I kept my phone off until I got home so I can watch it and without interruptions. And as I got in my car, I saw Casual Bias post on our rugby community group, FUCK. So then I knew it's over. I am done for, so I'm not going to go home and watch this game. So Casual Bias Rugby, tell us what happened in the Stormers game. Let's go.
Brett, so you didn't watch the game at all when you got home?
Nope.
Okay. First and foremost, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant. Not a rant, just like an explanation. But this doesn't mean I'm taking anything away from La Rochelle. I could easily go, is this your European champs? Is this your European champs? But I'm not going to do that. I am so proud of this Stormers team because what we did yesterday was magic. People writing us off saying, listen, okay, it's La Rochelle, defending champs, double champs, whatever. And they're going to come here. They finally have their strongest team and they're going to obliterate us. We smashed them. We absolutely played them off the park. They had no sniff. They didn't look like they're going to score points. 16-0 in the lead. And then this little magical thing happened called injuries. And that is why I said, if you want to make excuses for Bath, you have to take into consideration for the Stormers as well. Because you know that one big injury that Bath got of Finn Russell? Yeah, well, times it by 5. Because we had 3 injuries after halftime. Not any injuries. Ben Jason Dixon, who had a scintillating game. We had Dion Fourie, our captain, blowing out his ACL. So that's probably the last time we see Dion Fourie. And then, obviously, our try scorer, Leland Zas, all gone after 30 minutes. That is 3 massive injuries. Then to make it worse, you come into the second half, lose Ben Jason Dixon's replacement, the guy that's been our best player this whole season, Daimani, gets knocked out by Salman Murat after he made a tackle. He's gone. 4 injuries after 50 minutes. And then Salman Murat also gets knocked out. 3 stretches. 3 stretches in one game. Boom. Absolutely massive knocks. Then after that, we obviously everyone's starting to tire. Got a yellow card, and guess what? That's when La Rochelle scored their first points. After 5 injuries and a yellow card, La Rochelle scores their first points. I think they might have gotten points before Murat went off, but still 4 injuries then and a yellow card. That's when they scored their first points. Ridiculous. I am so proud of these boys. They showed fighting spirit till the end. We had a cancelled try because of a little knock-on. But I'm not going to make excuses. Well done to La Rochelle. It takes a good team to stay in the game for that long and fight back a 16-point margin. But overall, I'm so proud of the boys. And people will remember this game for Marnie's kick at the end going way. He kicked it, missed by a mile. But he had a scintillating game. So I'm not taking anything away from Marnie. He had an absolutely brilliant game.
I did, however, see that. I want to actually give La Rochelle players some credit here. I saw on most social media platforms that when Salman Murat got knocked out, that Will Skelton actually protected him. He kept the ruck. He protected him against the ruck and called for the medics because he saw him out cold before the ref did. So shout out to Will Skelton. Good sportsmanship.
Yeah, Skelton was also an absolute menace. He was scintillating. Skelton, Aldry, and Kerbalo, standout players. But yeah, Skelton is an absolute menace to play against. I mean, the guy is absolutely brilliant. Australia has to keep that rule where they can use guys from outside the country, because if they don't use him, they are missing a big impact player for them. He is a giant. But yeah, as you just said, like, we don't want to take anything away from La Rochelle. It takes a big team and a strong team to win a game where you kind of totally look out of it. Yeah, of course there's caveats, but you still got to put the points on the board, and that's exactly what they did. It wasn't an easy game for them, and they just grafted the victory. So fair play to them.
So quickly off topic for 2 seconds. So with Will Skelton having to play for Australia, I think that Joe Smith must look into Kerbalo as well, because he's eligible to play for Australia. He's Australian that played for New Zealand, but he's been out for long enough. And Kerbalo, according to what I've read, was absolutely brilliant against the Stormers. So
yeah, man of the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
did not know that. Okay,
he was insane.
I just read that he was very good. Okay, so moving on. We got Bordeaux versus Saracens. This is the game. This was my upset victory because I went for Saracens because of how well they normally do in playoff games. And I wasn't just wrong by a little bit. I was wrong by a lot.
33 points.
Yes.
Wrong by 33.
Yeah.
33 points would have given you the draw. It's just 34.
Oh, shit.
This is the game that I didn't really keep my eyes on. This one and the Leinster game. Obviously, those two games were at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I went out to go and drown my sorrows of the game that we just spoke about. So I didn't watch too much, but if I just read into the scoreline, we said Bordeaux has been looking sensational this whole season, but obviously with Saracens, they're so hot and cold at the moment, like you don't know what to expect out of them. And I don't think it's the most unfair prediction in the world to have called Saracens, because they are one of those knockout teams. Like I think it was on another podcast that we were on that someone brought up Saracens are kind of like South Africa, like they know when to win when it matters. So it didn't feel like an unfair prediction. I'm not going to blame you for it, even though I want to, because we always banter each other. But I mean, what else can you do other than just give Bordeaux credit? Because that is a massive performance to put up against a team like Saracens. Even a bad Saracens team, just Saracens, the name by itself makes them a good team.
Can we go out on a limb and say that Bordeaux could potentially be a dark horse to win the competition?
I would agree. I'm not going to say they are going to win, but this is the team that I'm going to support for the. Well, obviously after the Bulls now, since the Stormers are gone, I like the shout of Bordeaux. Just seeing how far they've come in the past season, it's ridiculous. And I would love an outside shout to win it. Keep the Leinster guys on the ground, not giving them that satisfaction. I don't want to lose to win it again. I don't want La Rochelle to win it again. So I love the outside shout. We always love an underdog story. So I'm gonna back Bordeaux, especially while they have to play against Saints, which is massive. I'm not sure who's going to play the home game there, but yeah, I'm backing Bordeaux. I think they can come very far.
Yeah. Okay, then the game I did watch the next game, the full game, Leinster versus Leicester, and Leicester started like a house on fire with Pollard's try. It was Visser, disruptive Visser, carrying like a menace. And then, obviously, Pollard scoring the first try. Leicester went up 7-0. And then eventually it was just the Pollard show. Just kicked well, played well. Pollard actually missed his first kick in this game in a long time. So I do, however, think Leinster has work to do, because Leicester is not such a great side. And Leinster is considered one of the great sides. So they have work to do if they think they're going to win this competition.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch it. What I mean by I didn't really watch it is I didn't watch it at all. But obviously, Leinster put up a statement performance against the Bull. As you make it sound, it doesn't sound like they put up that much of a statement performance against Leicester Tigers. Now, I'm seeing Leicester Tigers as the team that struggled against Newcastle Falcons, who haven't won a single game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But it's also like Leicester Tigers are always a team that's still in the mix. I know in the pool stages they had Leinster very close, right? Before Leinster took it at the end. So the scoreline looks comfortable, but I can't see that it was a comfortable game. I don't see Leicester Tigers as a team that you can easily just blow out of the water. They've got enough class individual players. If you look at the likes of just the South Africans in it. Andre Pollard, Jasper Wiese, Hanro Liebenberg, and then obviously you have the English boys there, like the likes of a Freddie Stewart, for instance. So they still have the big name players and stuff. So it's never a walkover victory going up against Leicester Tigers, but it's going to be very interesting because I just watched the Toulouse game as well, and they look on fire.
Yeah.
So Leicester's got their work cut out for that one.
I do agree there. So let's move on. Northampton versus Munster, another game that I enjoyed today. I think that this was a very entertaining game. I enjoyed this game a lot. Obviously, Northampton getting the 10-point victory there. Not that point difference matters anymore. But, yeah, great game until about the 65th minute. Then it was just, I think, Munster just ran out of gas. They were done. They were tired.
Yeah, they were depleted. But I think it was a solid performance from both teams. It was up and down the field. If you just watched the game, you would have felt there should have been more points in the game. But I think this was one of those that's also instant classic. I think both teams really performed well. Tide Burn at the breakdown was an absolute menace today. I think he had like 10 steals. I don't even care. Like that, he was crazy. Finn Smith had a brilliant game. Just overall, once again, the same as the Harlequins Glasgow game, a pure joy to watch rugby match. That's the best way to sum it up. Like if you have no emotional investment in it and you just enjoy rugby for rugby, this was the perfect example of it.
I do, however, I'm concerned that if this is the Irish fly-off that they're going to bring to South Africa, they're going to be in trouble. I don't think Ireland has a current 10 worth mentioning.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's not that I think he was that bad. He's not that bad. It's just like I feel the thing is also, Brett, it's like he doesn't have that much individual magic, but we've spoken about it before. Like he doesn't need too much individual magic to fit into the Irish system. Like their system is very effective. You look at Johnny Sexton. I never rated Johnny Sexton as a player, but he fitted beautifully into the Irish system. I think you put in bloody Elton Yankees and he flourishes as a 10 in that Irish system. So I wouldn't worry too much if I was Ireland about the 10 position, but yeah, they're anyway going to lose when they come down to South Africa. We are hungry now.
Yes. And on to the last game, the game that just finished a few hours ago. Toulouse versus Racing. Siya Kolisi's side still haven't pitched up to the field. What do you think of that game?
Yeah, Kolisi also getting injured in the first half didn't do him any favors. The injury record for South Africans playing outside South Africa. Wow. Yeah, but it's a bit. Only started playing franchise rugby when he returned back to the Sharks because he was always injured going when he was abroad. Andre Pollard always injured abroad. Siya Kolisi loves the injury. He just came back from an injury. He's injured again. Erg is the most lethal of them all. Like that guy never plays. He steals a living out there. But yeah, Toulouse should have put way more on Racing. They dominated the game, in my opinion. Every time you saw Toulouse having the ball, they were in the 22 of Racing. I think Gael Fickou for Racing had an incredible game, to be fair. But other than that, I felt it was Toulouse dominant. They even played without Ramos. They missed a couple of kicks as well. So impressive performance. That semi-final between Toulouse and Leinster, because I'm already saying those will probably be the teams going through. That one is going to be saucy.
It is saucy. So Toulouse will be playing. Wait, let me just check here.
I think I think Toulouse is playing La Rochelle.
No, Leinster is playing La Rochelle in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the Bulls and Toulouse.
Yes. No, the Bulls have Northampton Saints and Bordeaux has Harlequins. And, they've actually got the fixtures wrong here because it says, Bordeaux, Harlequins, Leinster, La Rochelle, Northampton versus Bulls. So that there's not another fixture. So that will make Toulouse versus
Exeter.
Exeter.
Okay, Toulouse easily. Very
Yeah, but
easily.
we'll get.
Okay,
We'll,
so I forgot they switched. I just looked at it on the Google spreadsheet over here, and it's not in the. So I just guessed above whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get to that. But if you've made it this far into the episode, please remember to like and subscribe. We do like your banter though. If you don't feel like you want to like and subscribe, hit a comment, because we talk about this a lot in the comments. We love the comments. Not always when you call us names, but yeah,
Talking carrot.
yeah, but we do like the banter.
We like rugby banter. We like rugby banter.
Yes, correct. So thank you so much for watching. That is our last bit of sequence for this episode. I almost said this was the last episode. So enjoy. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Casual Bias.
Adios.
Bye.